Yeah, you guys may or may not be aware, but I've been involved with like musical projects over the years and experimental, like techno music, experimental music, internet remixes, some spoken word stuff dating back to like 1995 through about, well, till present day, but I only went as recent as 2013 when I was digging through stuff to put together for this project of mine. So what I did was I wanted to make a compilation release of like the best of what I've done in my lifetime so far. So I'm in my mid 30s. I'm like, I gotta have something to show for it, right? And so what I did is I put together an album that I'll put up on screen right now called Echoes. And it is an 18-track album. It's just a compilation of stuff. It's out now. You can stream it on YouTube from the Cola Incorporated channel, or you can download it from the Gatorbox Secret Stash, gator.co/secret stash, all one word for branding purposes. It's under the music category there. It's at the top because it says Draco from Gatorbox. It's alphabetically listed, so there's that. So I figured what we could do is we could listen to the album. The album's only about 30 minutes long, so this will probably take as long as a regular Gator Unbox. We can listen to the tracks on the album, and then I can tell you a little bit about the history of those tracks and give you some backstory as to what projects they were from, why I made them, just give you the behind the music, I guess. So it's a project that goes back from it goes all the way back to 1995 when I did some spoken word stuff when I was a kid, and some of the recordings sound kind of, I was really at the mercy of the master recordings, and unfortunately some of the tape for some of these old spoken word things, the tape is damaged. So I tried to fix that by adjusting the pitch and shifting it in Audacity and trying to adjust the speed of the playback, but anything I did to it immediately like deformed it and just made it sound like even more unnatural than it already sounded. So I just decided to keep it in its damaged state. But thankfully most of the stuff on this album was all digitally made, so I don't have to worry about that. There is some analog in there, but it's mostly all digital, so there's not much to complain about really. Okay, so I guess I could start by explaining the cover. So the cover is me, obviously. It's a picture of me in preschool, and I vaguely remember this day. We all dressed up as bunnies. That's just a paper band around my head with paper ears, and we did like a little song and dance. It was like a little, I think we went to a church and performed at like a church, and we sang some Easter songs or something like that, and my parents were there because I think they were helping out with it, and I hated the fact that they painted stuff on my face. I hated the whiskers that they painted on my face. I would not let them paint a nose on me because, again, I have sensory defensiveness. So, like, tactile hypersensitivity. I don't like shit being stuck on my skin. I don't like the way that feels. So, this was me as a kid expressing that, throwing a fit about it, and that's the reason why I'm sitting so far away from everybody, is because I was making a nuisance of myself. So I was sitting really far away. That's also why I look somewhat distressed in the photo. So I'm sitting by myself on these fold-out tables, and my mom apparently thought that it was appropriate time to snap a picture of me for the photo album. There we go. And I'm pretty sure the woman standing in the back that I'm pointing at, that's like off to the upper right of the album cover, I'm pretty sure that was my teacher from preschool. So she's even in the photo too, but it's all too blurry, you can't even tell. She's not in focus, only I'm in focus. So Buster Keaton Rules says, "Dang, that's you? I've been thinking it was a screenshot from Jojo Rabbit." No, it's me. It's a picture of me. That's what, when I said echoes, I figured like I was like, I was trying to think of what type of album cover I could make, and then I found some old photos of me that I had scanned a really long time ago to do something with. I think I was getting reprints of them made for my photo albums, and I found these high resolution scans of these pictures, and I was like, I think it would be funny to pick a really weird photo of me as like a child and use that as the album cover. And the bunny one, just out of all the ones I went through, there was one where I had like unrolled a whole roll of like paper towels, and I was like a toddler in this picture, and I was like playing with these paper towels, and I was like, that's cute, but it's like not, it doesn't evoke anything, you know? Like, you look at it, you're like, it's just a picture of a kid. That's the type of shit that gets posted to like grandma's Facebook, you know what I mean? And I had another one where it was a picture of me at a dinosaur park, and there was me, and then there was like some animatronic T-Rex behind me, but the picture was too tall, so if I were to fit me in the picture, it would crop out all of the dinosaurs, because it's a vertically oriented picture. So I was like, I can't use that one. I had a picture of me and one of the people that I recorded stuff with on this album. He appears in the spoken word, the spoken words parts. I had a picture of him and I as kids, and then like my father's old pickup truck is in the background. And I was like, that one kind of works, but I didn't want to go with that because the other person photographed is not really well represented on the project. And I didn't want to give the implication that it was like a duo thing or whatever, so I was like, I don't want to use that photo. So I went with the bunny, because the bunny photo, it makes you feel some kind of emotion, because the kid in the picture, who's me, the kid in the picture is not happy. He's dressed like a fucking bunny. He's dressed nicely, and he's sitting at a lunch table by himself while there's a whole bunch of people behind him doing God knows what. So I was like, this photo, out of context, says more and tells a story more than the other photos of me that I was thinking about using. So I went with this one. And because we live in a digital age, there's no back cover. I didn't make one. So it's just the front cover. I didn't make like a track listing back or whatever. So that's just a lost art. So thank you, Attractivision. You're right. The photo's perfect. I picked the best photo. Wonderful. If I was Professor Oak and this was Pokemon Snap, that's what I would say. The very first track on the album is This Is FUCK Radio. And backstory behind this. No, I did not get beaten up by Jay and Silent Bob after the photo was taken. The backstory behind the first track, this is a spoken word track, and when I was younger, me and a friend of mine named Adam would record, we used to write comedy and jokes and humor together, and we were kind of crass, and this was like elementary school type shit, so we would record these tapes of jokes, and we would pass them around to all of our friends at school, who would listen to them and then give them back to us, and then we would record more onto the ends of the tapes and pass them back out, and teachers would constantly take them away, and we served a lot of detention time for generally being troublemakers, because we would use, like, you know, I mean, the track is called This Is FUCK Radio, so that's where the bar is set. You know, we weren't strangers to using profanities or whatever. But I think what really got us in trouble the most is the fact that we would talk about our classmates on some of the tapes. So I haven't picked any of that. But this is one instance where the master tapes were damaged, and so the vocal pitch is going to be really weird. But this was the very first thing recorded on the very first tape that we as a comedy duo put together. So I'm just going to play this for you. It's like 5 or 6 seconds long, and this is the introductory track.
Hey, this is FUCK Radio.
So that's it. That's us. That's us laughing. Recorded in 1995. That is, how old is 1995? 27 years old. Those spoken words were recorded in a much different time, a much simpler time. But I think that's the first time I've ever played those on the air to like an audience. So hopefully you guys can take something away from that. I'm not sure. Coming up next, you're going to draw Le Blue Girl fan fiction. You fucking with me? You're gonna draw Le Blue Girl fan fiction? Either you're gonna write fan fiction or you're gonna draw fan art. But I think you're saying it wrong on purpose, just as a joke. So coming up the first. So that's the introductory track. The next track is technically the first track on the album, and this track is called Name. You Kicked Me in the Balls. In parentheses. This is an internet remix featuring Christian Chandler. It was made in 2010. And it's sampled heavily from the video where... so for context, Christian had been banned. I'm saying Christian because this is what she was known by as the time. So if I'm using improper pronouns, it's because I'm talking about a person at a specific point in time pre-transition. So that I just want to throw that out there. So... this is when Christian had been, had their YouTube account closed and registered the account IBA Chandler, as in, like, I be a Chandler. But it's just the letters, you know, IBA. And, so at the time, this was when the Liquid Chris saga was going on, where there was an imposter Chris Chan claiming to be the real Christian Weston Chandler, and because the YouTube handle had IBA, trolls ran with that and said that must stand for Ian Brandon Anderson. So Chris got really yeah, Hades Flame was one step ahead of me. Ian Brandon Anderson. Chris got really heated about people calling him by the wrong name. This is the video that has the famous line, "Your metal is made out of paper the whole length of time. My metal, the real one, has been made out of Crayola, fucking Model Magic, and acrylic paint." So, that's the one. My name is not Ian Brandon something. So I took that video, chopped it up, and made a song out of it. So here's Name, You Kicked Me in the Balls.
Call me by the real name that God and the bear has given me. No chin, no fur, no chin, no fur. He ain't nothing! This game is not fun. You damn fucking bastard! If I wanted paper, I would go to Walmart and pay $5 for 500 sheets! Up there at Regency Square Shopping Center during 1989, kicked me in the balls again! So, admit that, Chris. Come clean! You kicked me in the balls again! Get it right! This game is not fun. I told me the real name to that God that's been given to me! Crayola, Ian, Chandler, fucking Preston, something! But in the end, just call me Crayola fucking Auto Magic!
All right, so that's name. You kicked me in the balls. That's I figured that would be a strong lead-in track just to let you know how much of a mistake you've made streaming this album or listening to it or whatever. You know, downloading it onto your phone and putting it on. Well, I guess if you put it on shuffle, that's going to really make the experience weird, because I did kind of like curate this to fit a certain have a certain flow to it, but Attractivision says the music says his rant is par for the course with no real consequences. No, that was when Chris was really excitable. Chris was really excitable back then. That's the best way I can describe it. This was before, I mean, because that's the thing is she still falls for trolls today, and still does the most batshit ridiculous stupid things imaginable. But back then, this was from a video from like 2008 ish. So this was back when Chris hadn't yet wisened up to trolls. I mean, I think she's wisened up a little bit, marginally. So the era of getting Chris to scream at her webcam and shout about nonsense, I think that's over. But you can still troll her and yank her chains and pull her strings and make her do stuff. But this is from the era when Chris would just scream at his PlayStation iToy camera, and it was those were the best videos to me. That one, and there's another one that Zahanda was quoting in chat while this song was going on, where that's the one about get everything about my house off the internet. My mother and father are angry at me. I'll send in police. I'll send in detectives. You know, like, Chris doesn't do that anymore. Chris doesn't do that anymore. So let's move on. Let's move on ahead. That's the first of two Chris Chan songs on the album. Surprise. This next one is from 2003. It's called Alien Lullaby. This is more kind of like, I guess you would call it like music you could vibe to now, is kind of what it would be called. This is more of a slower ambient. I used to use the phrase ambient techno to describe this, but I would still say it's ambient, but this is more like chill wave, I guess. I'm not sure what to call it. But this was from an album, a Radio F album, not to be confused with FUCK Radio. Radio F was a musical outfit that I was a part of for a while. This was from 2003, so what album was this from? Was this Reptilian Agenda? I think so. Basically, somewhere there's a download for a compilation album called F-Sides, The Best of Radio F. And this is one of the tracks from it, so I wanted to sample some of F-Sides and put them on here. So here's Alien Lullaby. So Flux is saying the drum kit sounds familiar. A lot of these were generated with a program called MTV Music Generator, which basically lets you pick from some riffs and some instruments and gives you like an on-screen keyboard to plot notes out on. But with the drums, you can customize the drums, but customizing the drums with their interface is not it's not very easy to do. So for the most part, I left the drum samples untouched, but everything else I ran through the MIDI keyboard that comes built in with it, and I used MTV Music Generator for PS1 for some songs, and I also later got a copy of it for PC, which is what I used for some of my internet remixes. And being able to use it for PC allowed me to make my own riffs from my own samples, basically. So I could take a video from Chris Chan or from something else, as we're about to see here, and I could chop it up into all these words and phrases and things like that and make them all individual samples, import them into MTV Music Generator, and then I could drop them onto the timeline and mix them into the song with some level of accuracy to the beat of the song. But one of the things that held me back was MTV Music Generator does everything by block. So even if by 4 beat blocks. So even if a sample doesn't take 4 beats, like Chris screaming Chris Chandler, that's 2 separate samples, but they take place within the same 4-beat measure. So in order to be able to combine samples within a 4-beat measure, what I often did is I would just actually use Audacity to manually drop samples into the songs where I couldn't overlay 2. You know what I'm saying? So I would use both the mixture of MTV Music Generator and Audacity to cobble together these internet remixes. So that's why it was so labor intensive, which is why I didn't make a lot of them. But this was just pure music, and that's just something to vibe to, something to chill out with. I'm glad that you guys say, yo, this kind of slaps. That makes me feel better about myself. So coming up next is a track called The Golden Fantasy Dragon. Let me tell you about the Golden Fantasy Dragon. There's a infomercial on television called Cutlery Corner, aka The Knife Show, and it's been on TV for quite some time because The Golden Fantasy Dragon was a single that I released in 2007, and it's 2022, so that's 15 years of Cutlery Corner. And Cutlery Corner is essentially a infomercial late night. It's taped live. It's broadcasted live, and all they do is they just sell knives. That's it. But they sell like decorative knives and like katanas and shit you would find at the mall. And it was really, like 15 years ago, it was really, really, really super low tech. I'm talking like the on-screen graphics looked like ass. They just had knives that were stuck into 2x4s to like display them in front of the camera with like a blue drop cloth behind them. It looked like shit. They had one camera. The hosts were constantly rambling. They never knew what the fuck they were talking about. They sounded drunk half the time. But there was one host. His name is Tom Odell. So Tom Odell is featured in this song. And he, I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but from that Home Shopping Network where the guy's got the katana, and he says, it's really strong, look, and he bangs it on the table, and the katana breaks, and it swings back and cuts his arm open, and he's like, oh, that got me, yep, that got me good. That guy who walks into the shot and says, we might need emergency assistance in the studio, that's Tom Odell. And he's one of the people who was the main salesman on the Knife Show. So imagine that guy trying to sell you knives, and you have a recipe for success. So the Golden Fantasy Dragon was made from samples of him trying to sell you this very ornate like Bowie knife called the Golden Fantasy Dragon. And, well, here's the Golden Fantasy Dragon.
Let me do this. Look at this. Look at that. If you dial right now, I'm going to toss in another $239 of retail value. The Golden Fantasy Dragon. Yes, it's the Golden Fantasy Dragon. The Golden Fantasy Dragon. Yes, it's the Golden Fantasy Dragon in the Damascus steel blade. The Golden Fantasy Dragon. Yes, it's the Golden Fantasy Dragon in the exotic Cocobolo twist handle. If you dial right now, I'm going to toss in another $239 of retail value. $239.95 in retail value. The Golden Fantasy Dragon. Yes, it's the Golden Fantasy Dragon. Look at the dragon's head. Look at this. Look at that. Look at the dragon's head. In the exotic Cocobolo twist handle. The Golden Fantasy Dragon. Yes, it's the Golden Fantasy Dragon. $239.95 in retail value. The Golden Fantasy Dragon in the Damascus steel blade. Yes, it's the Golden Fantasy Dragon in the exotic Cocobolo twist handle.
Yeah, so that's just a little, it's just a ditty. Track Division says this is a sad song. That's actually that. Oh no, that Cutlery Corner of the Golden Fantasy Dragon. That was uploaded in 2015. So that's not where I got the samples from. But that might be a re-upload of the same video. So oh, that wasn't him burping at the end. That was him making like growling sounds, because that's what there was a dragon's head on the pommel of the blade. So he was like putting it in the camera's face and making those sounds with it. The guy is a fucking nut. and that is where those Katana fail videos came from. He's the guy from that video. He's not the salesman. He's the guy that steps in and says, "We might need emergency assistance in the studio." That's the guy. That's the guy I sampled for that. Track Division says that was a sad song. I think there's a certain desperation to it where he's trying to get you to buy this knife, and he's like, "I'm going to throw in another $239.99 retail value." And if you notice, there's a part in the song where it slows down, where I kind of fuck with the tempo a little bit, where the song kind of slows down, and then as he starts saying, "If you call right now," and then he starts getting his mojo back again, the song starts picking up again. It gets faster and faster and faster and faster, and he's going right back to screaming about the Golden Fantasy Dragon because he's had his second wind. He wants you to buy this fucking knife. So that's kind of the story that I wanted to tell with that song, and that was more. That was one I think I also put that together in MTV Music Generator, but this was without me using Audacity as a secondary source to drop other samples into as well. So this was me purely having samples that started on 4-bar measures, or at least, you know, trying to cut my samples so they would start on a measure as best as I could. So this was me just dropping samples into the project without having to do any type of creative workarounds to mix more in. So that's just the Golden Fantasy Dragon. Sam Freddy, $5 Golden Dragon. Hey everyone, it's your boy Sam Freddy. I got something for you to sell right now, but unfortunately it's not $5. It's actually $239.99, which is a lot more than $5. But take a look at what you're getting. It's the Golden Fantasy Dragon. But we can't be selling these for $5. We got to make some money off of it. Is what my boss says. So coming up next, this next one, for all you Sonic fans out there, there's a couple of Sonic the Hedgehog tracks on this album. This next one is just an 8-bit remix of the zone Azure Lake from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And this was made by taking the MIDI instruction from it, dropping it into Fruity Loops Studio, and applying an 8-bit mask to it and trying to fine-tune it and find instruments that sounded good, that sounded close to the original song. And this was mostly, I only made one of these. This is also from 2007. This is the only one I made because I didn't really like this style of messing around with stuff. I didn't feel like I was being creative enough by taking a MIDI file of music that somebody else has already written, MIDI instruction, and then just picking instruments that sounded good to go with it. That didn't seem creative enough to me, so I didn't make a lot of these, but this was the best one that came out from that. Alright, so that was Azure Lake. Simple. Like I said, I didn't really make a whole lot of 8-bit versions of like MIDI files because, like I said, I didn't feel like I had enough creative control over it. I felt like I was just taking somebody else's work and tweaking it, and not in a remix way. So I was like, but I still made a few, and I wanted at least one to be on Echoes to represent my experimentation with stuff like that. So this one made it in because I think it sounded the best of the ones I tried. I think I also did one for like Lava Reef Zone and Balloon Park, I think, and those didn't come out as well because the instruments just didn't sound right. So I've got this one instead to go with. Anyways, Zags and Goose, thank you for the resubs. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Those weren't all midis. They started out as midis, but I remixed them into something else. Alright, so coming up next is the Freedom Rap Internets. It is a 10-second loop that was from a YTMND that I created in 2005 of a Photoshop of George W. Bush wearing a pimp suit, getting off of a plane, and here's that.
Freedom. 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 Internets.
That's it. That's all I got. So, next track is called Space Station 105. This is off of the same project as the Alien Lullaby song, where I was focusing on trying to make things that were really slow-paced and stuff that you could like, not smoke weed to. That's not, I was not about that back in the day. But, just something that you could, like, I guess I say vibe out to, but that is contemporary slang that I'm, like, retroactively applying to something that I wrote a long time ago. But I guess whenever I wrote this, I was trying to make, like, something that was, like, downbeat and something that was more passive and ambient and chill. And this one, I named it as such because it just sounds like you're just out there in space, like, just things just floating around you. There's nothing going on. So this is Space Station 105. Electric Ray said, this sounds like something that would be on Adult Swim. That's what I was aiming for back then. That's kind of what I was shooting for, was making something that sounded like an Adult Swim bumper. That's the type of music that I was inspired by whenever I was making that. That was from 2003. So that was Space Station 105, just something like really super chill. I found out by messing with the tempo of the project files that you could make the drum samples sound really distorted and weird. So that was what I kind of built the track around, was distorting the drums so that they'd have a weird kind of reverb to them almost, and having some type of ambient sound that was just as a backing for that, and mostly just have it just be very drum focused and you guys were also saying lo-fi beats to study to. I guess that's something else. I guess I could say I was aiming for. But so I actually got the previous 2 tracks backwards on the playlist, so I apologize. It's supposed to be that, and then it plays the Freedom Rap. So I got them backwards. So that's my bad. So now coming up is a song that Attractivision is here in chat, and this is a song that he helped put together. This is a song that was recorded in 2002 and was never released until recently, when it was released as a single through Cola Incorporated to promote the upcoming Echoes album. This song is called Flying with the Purple Pez, and it's basically some ad-libbed vocals on top of Attractivision's remix of Green Hill Zone from Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. So I figured no, I've got a copy of it, Attractivision. I've got a copy of it, and I'm going to play it. I'm going to hit play.
It's another song about Pez. I call this song Purple Pez, and I'm gonna fly away to Purple Pez. No music. You play it, music now. Ruining it.
2002.
I had some Purple Pez, the Purple Pez was good, cause I couldn't find the orangey kind. The Purple Pez was good, really, really good, and it was great. It was great. Purple Pez was great. The purple kind. Purpley Pez. PP, Purple Pez, B&P. And I ate Pez. Then I felt weird. Then I was flying with the Purple Pez. Flying with the Purple Pez. Flying with the Purple Pez. Purple kind. The Purple Pez. Purple in there. Flying with the Purple Pez. Purple Pez. It was good. Because it was purple. Purple Pez is the best kind. Best kind in the world. I had some Purple Pez, and it made me feel good. Because the Purple Pez made me fly around. And I was flying. Flying with the Purple Pez. I was flying with the Purple Pez. Flying with the Purple Pez. I was flying with the Purple Pez. Flying with Powerpuff Girls. Flying with the Purple Pez. Flying with the Purple Pez. Flying with the Purple Pez. The Purple Pez. Purple kind. Yeah. And then it ran out. Ah! Purple kind. Purple.
There's some tape hiss on that one. I left in the mechanical noise. It felt like that added to the authenticity of it. Emporio is asking, yeah, you missed the orange. The orange kind lyric is early in the song because I couldn't find the orange kind. That was pretty early in the song. That was like in the beginning of it. But you can actually just go right back and listen to the song again on Cola Incorporated on YouTube, because this was one of 2 songs that I put out as a single for this album. So I figured this was one of the better ones from the album because it has singing in it. So I picked it. Also because it was never previously released, so I'm like, let's make it a thing. Let's make it a thing. Emporio's asking, was Purple Pez even a thing, and aren't all Pez the same in terms of taste? They taste vaguely different, and Purple Pez is a thing. They're grape flavored, which I don't know if my words come through clear enough in the recording, because I don't know if it sounds like if I'm saying it was grape or it was great, but I'm saying it was grape. So I'm talking about the flavor of the Pez in the song. Most of that was ad-libbed, but Attractivision did a real bang-up job on the music, and I just basically just shit-posted all over it. And that's Flying with the Purple Pez. Attractivision and I used to record a lot of video shit posts back in the day, and this was one of the things that we recorded together as a project, and I have fond memories of all that stuff. You guys heard Purple Fez, you heard Purple Pants. If you're looking at the title of the song, then you'll hear the word Pez. Otherwise, you're going to hear something else, I guess. I don't know, because the audio is kind of not clear. It's really not. The microphone I was singing into wasn't plugged into anything, so. It's the best recording we have of that song, and it's the only take we had of it, so I was like, this is going to be the one. This is the one. I'm glad you enjoyed hearing it again. It's one of my two favorites off of the album. It's one of my two, because I picked my two favorites. The other one is Call of Duty that me and Rockowitz put together. So that was Flying with the Purple Pez. The next track is Hello My Future Dance Mix. So this is another internet mashup. This is from 2007. Made this around the time that I made the Golden Fantasy Dragon. So this is another one of me chopping up a video for. Actually, this is sampled from audio, not from video. So I took a bunch of audio samples, imported them into MTV Music Generator, and then I was able to just put them on 4-bar measures. And I didn't really. This was before I learned the advanced secret technique of using like Audacity and like third-party programs to make one pass of the song in MTV Music Generator, and then to add the other missing samples in on other beats with a secondary program. This was before I figured out how to do all that. So this is Hello My Future Dance Mix. If the name sounds weird, it'll make a lot more sense when you hear the audio sample that I play at the beginning of the song.
Hello, my future girlfriend. This is what I sound like.
I'm going to hell for this.
Dr. Chip. I am 11 years old in the 6th grade. Dr. Chip. I am 11 years old in the 6th grade. Dr. Chip. In New Mexico. Please PM me if I'm on Dr. Chip. I am 11 years old in the 6th grade. Hello, my future girlfriend. This is what I sound like. In New Mexico. I am 11 years old in the 6th grade. Please PM me if I'm on Dr. Chip. I am 11 years old in the 6th grade. Please PM me if I'm on Dr. Chip. I am 11 years old in the 6th grade. In New Mexico. Hello, my future girlfriend. Bye. Thanks for stopping by.
So that was Attractivision caught on. Every time the kid says New Mexico, it just lays into the juiciest fucking riff. Every time. So for those of you that don't know the story, that was Hello My Future Dance Mix featuring Michael Blount, aka Mikey, Superstar Mullet. He was a little kid when all of his other friends were like, this was when the internet was like a new thing, and all of his friends were getting girlfriends and everything else, and he felt left out. So he made a personal website on Yahoo, on GeoCities, and he had a microphone at his computer, and he recorded this line that I chopped up and mixed into this song, and it went viral. It's one of the earliest viral things, but it's like, hello, my future girlfriend, this is what I sound like. I am 11 years old in the 6th grade in New Mexico. Please PM me if I'm on Yahoo Chat. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Like, I think that's the whole sample that I chopped apart, and I've always been fascinated with it, just because there's such an innocence to it and everything else, and then plus it turns out in a later interview where someone tracked this kid down and interviewed him, the kid turned out to be gay. Nothing wrong with that. It's just hello my future girlfriend. Back then it should have been hello my future boyfriend. What's up with that? Come on. So I just think it's funny that the story, and he is in a relationship as well, so he is taken. So the story has a happy ending, but I was always fascinated with that thing. So I did not put any of this on Albino Black Sheep, unfortunately. I wasn't really in with that crowd, and you had to like put that to like Flash cartoons and stuff, and I didn't really know how to animate at the time. I was kind of a little bit above my pay grade, so I just didn't know. But long con trolling. Mikey. So that was Mikey. That was Hello My Future Dance Mix. That was from 2007. Also released on its own as a single back then in 2007 on YouTube under a different name. But so yeah, that's another mashup one. So you can tell the two internet mashups from 2007. This one and the Golden Fantasy Dragon was before I learned advanced techniques for editing in more samples. And then from 2010, the Chris Chan one, Name, You Kicked Me in the Balls, that was a lot more. There were a lot more samples that were put into that. It was a lot more hectic. And that was when I had learned that you could use Audacity and other programs to insert samples into the song and on other beats than just the start of a measure. So I used it for that. So that's what I did. This next song coming up is just called Draco Trance 2. It's technically untitled. It was written in 2005 with, I think, software called EJ, because I wanted to try it out. And I think I only made a couple songs with this software because I was like, I didn't like the way it sounded. I didn't like the options available to me. It was a lot less robust than the MTV one that I'd been using. So I used this for a while, and then because some of the ones like Alien Lullaby, Space Station 105, made with MTV from 2003, and then this one was made with EJ in 2005. And then I immediately, by 2007, I had already gone back to using MTV again to do my sample-based ones. So this one is just another, like, weird fly over the horizon, get high, Rasta Otter song. So yeah, that's the end of that. It doesn't even have a proper fade out because I couldn't figure it out in that program. That was just called Draco Trance 2. And you can see everything didn't really sound as good as some of the other ones I had put together. A lot of it was like pre-made stuff that I was really locked into and I couldn't edit as easily that I wanted to. So I had the drum kits and I was like, the drum kits were more robust, but the samples, I couldn't really play with the samples as much as I wanted to. So I couldn't really do much with that program. And I wound up not liking it. So I used it. I think I made a few songs with it, but this was the only one that sounded like remotely good. So I just kept that one. So this one didn't really get a lot of activation from the crowd. So I'm like, yeah, this one's kind of a boring one. You know, not all of them are going to be bangers. It's a storytelling album. It's not really nonstop bangers, the album. So, but speaking of bangers, this next track is called The Langston Disease. Heyo! Y'all, let me tell y'all about the Langston Disease. I don't even know where to start, actually. So this features one of my friends, Big Mac Casey. He does some of the vocals for this, and he used to have a song that he would sing. We never. I think Attractivision and I were never able to wrangle a good recording of it out of him at all. But he would sing it, and we had a classmate named Langston, and he was kind of a weird looking kid, and with the fucking name like that, like, just come on, he's just asking to be picked on. But at lunch one day, you know, Big Mac tells us, hey, you better eat your burritos because you don't want to get the Langston disease. And we're like, the fuck is the Langston disease? You're gonna clue us in on that one? And so Casey was all, yeah, it's when Langston's face appears on your butt cheek. You don't want that to happen. And so it found out that the way to prevent the Langston disease is eating foods that end in Ito. So burrito, Cheeto, Frito, Doritos, taquitos, all of those foods prevent the Langston disease because they only on the virtue that they rhyme, okay? That's it. It's not the ingredients. There's no ingredients that protect you. It's the simple fact that these foods rhyme with each other. That's what protects you from it. So, this take was recorded in 2005, which was about 4 to 5 years after the original Langston disease song meme that he came up with. And for the longest time, we kept trying to get a proper recording of it out of him because we didn't want to forget this. We wanted this song to live on in some way. So I did my best by turning it into a rap song with Big Mac Casey on the vocals, and I keep trying to egg him on to say stuff, but he's not giving me anything. But this is the only recording of it that I have, the only take that I've got, so I wanted to share it with everybody just because this is the type of dumb shit that my friends and I used to get up to back in the day. So here's the Langston disease.
Here we go. It's the Langston disease. Yeah. It makes me want to shit my pants. Oh! You don't want to get the Langston disease. I want to get some toilet paper, but it's too much. Cost too much. Inflation, taxes, gas prices rising, terrorist bombing. Langston disease. Where is Langston when you need him? Who knows? But you gotta know that to get the Langston disease, you gotta. You need to keep on eating your burritos with Cheetos and Fritos and Ketos and nachos, anything that ends in Ito, taquito and Frito and taquito. Yeah, you know it. You wanna avoid the Langston, the Langston want it on your butt cheek. You don't want it on your left cheek. You don't want it on the right cheek. You don't want it on your cheeks. You don't want it. Get it off. I said get it off. You need to eat more burritos. My butt itches. Oh, that's a symptom of the Langston disease. What am I gonna do? You better hurry up and eat some burritos. You better hurry up and eat some Cheetos. You better hurry up and eat some burritos. Yeah, man. Casey doesn't like the song anymore because he doesn't remember the goddamn words.
So that's the end of the take there. It ends with Casey doesn't remember the song anymore because he doesn't know the goddamn words. So that's how it ends. I kept trying to give him stuff to build off of, and he just wasn't giving me anything. But like I said, that's the best recording I was able to get out of him. We were in high school at the time. We came up with it in middle school, so we were like into high school by the time 2005 rolled around and getting ready to graduate. So, you know, I guess there's more important shit to do than record old joke songs about classmates, you know, when you're about ready to graduate. I guess I don't know, but I couldn't get a solid recording out of him. It's already 10:30. I really like talking about myself and this fucking music. We're about 2/3 of the way done. Thankfully, we got a lot of short tracks coming up. That was the Langston disease, and this next track is from 1995. It's called Licky Nicky. We're still picking on classmates here. Yes, Casey did do a performance on the toy piano, and that was probably also very good. But it just wasn't recorded, so we just don't have it. He did all the best things when the cameras were not pointed at him, and when he would point the camera at him, he would clam up. So it's, you know, that was just the way of the beast. That was just the way of the beast. So this goes back to FUCK Radio. Oh, you do have it on video. Good. Then you might have a better take of it than I do. This is just the one that I have that I made with like a rap background or whatever. We called ourselves the Wink Martindale 3000. So going back to FUCK Radio from 1995, one of the things that we got in trouble for was we would make fun of classmates on the tapes, and that was seen as bullying. But this was in a time before bullying was like zero tolerance or whatever, so we would just openly talk about and trash on our classmates. And have I ever told you guys the bike rodeo story? The bike rodeo trophy story? Have I ever told you? I don't know if it's on the channel somewhere, where the kid who got third place at the bike rodeo and always was showing off his fucking trophy. Because this is that kid. I don't know if I've ever told that story, but yeah. So we had a classmate named Nicholas, and he was very annoying. He dressed like a cowboy, and he dressed like a gay cowboy, not with assless chaps or anything, but like when you dress like a fucking cowboy and it's like, you know, 5th fucking grade. Come on. You're gonna get picked on. So this is one of the cassette tapes that we this is one of the jokes on the cassette tapes that we recorded. And this was a lot of this was improvisational. Like whenever Adam and I would get into making jokes for these tapes, we would know what we wanted to talk about. And sometimes we would do multiple takes of it, but usually it was just kind of stream of consciousness with flubs included and stuttering and everything else. I had a speech impediment when I was younger that I eventually did get over, but mostly. But we talked a lot of shit about a lot of people. Here's Licky Nicky. Just listen to it.
Nick slaps sticks, dicks, and got sticks, dicks, dick. Nick likes to suck Mickey's dick, black, lick, no. Mickey gave his dick a little licky. Mickey gave the hidden Mickey. Dick contains the hidden Mickey. Mickey gave his dicky a little licky. Mickey Dicky wasn't very licky because he lickied it too many times and then it came off.
Yeah, so we literally just straight up said that the gay cowboy kid sucked 6 dicks and got sick, which was a very good Dr. Seuss parody at the time. I still stand by it. It still makes me laugh to this day. But the main reason why I included it in this album is the interjection of Adam trying to piece together a rhyme of his own, and I just blurt out that his dick contains a hidden Mickey, which rhymes with Nicky, and it contains a hidden Mickey, and then he just loses his shit, and he tries to come back with something coherent, and he licked it too hard, and it came off. So, jokes about a classmate who sucks his own dick. I was never a saint. I was, yes, the kind you find at Disney World. A hidden Mickey contains a hidden Mickey. I don't know why I thought of that, but I did. So then we put that to tape, and that was like, whenever Adam and I would go back and listen to our own tapes, that would be something that we would actually laugh about, because like we would, I mean, it's kind of, it's a faux pas to laugh at your own jokes. But when you're like fucking elementary school aged, it doesn't matter. You laugh at your own jokes because they're fucking hilarious. So, you know, that's what we had. That was the quality of content on our tapes, was mostly just garbage like that. They can't all be winners. We got a few tracks left to go. This next track is called Sonic Cracker's Jumpy Party Time, in parentheses. And this was something I made, this was a live mix I made in an emulator by having access to the Sega Genesis sound channels and being able to kind of live remix a song by turning sound channels on and off. So this, it's option 81, I think, is the track name from Sonic Crackers. I think is the original track name. But my remix was just called Jumpy Party Time. This is from 2004. So this was still in my experimental phase where I was figuring out different ways I could make music. So here's the second of 2 Sonic tracks. So yeah, that was Jumpy Party Time. Basically taking a track and kind of live mixing it as it plays. If you've heard the original track, then you might be able to better recognize what I was doing there. There were a few parts where it was more obvious what I was doing by having instruments being on and off at different parts in the song. But, yeah, I found out that I had access to that, and I could also make an audio dump at the same time. So I was like, let me give this a shot. And I think I tried it with Sonic the Hedgehog and with Vector Man, I think. And, The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Because The Adventures of Batman and Robin, and that's a weird one. That sticks out like a sore thumb. That game on the Sega Genesis has a phenomenal fucking soundtrack. You know, and you want to talk about absolute bangers, the album, load up that game. Guarantee it'll knock your fucking socks off. And it's a fucking, the game isn't bad either. It's actually a pretty good game. It's hard as hell, which is the reason why I haven't played it for like Extra Life or anything. But the game is solid, and the music is even better. But this was just me playing with that, and like I said, kind of like with Draco Trance and you know, the 8-bit remix of Azure Lake. These are all experiments that I did that didn't really work out, so I just figured, let me grab one of these experiments a piece and sprinkle them into the album at various parts. So there's one of those in there as well. So the next track coming up is the last of the ambient techno tracks from 2002 off of the album $11 and Ones by Radio F. This is Robot Factory. So that's Robot Factory. There was, I forget the name of the effect, but there was a slider that you could have on certain samples, and I was that like that was me doing this with the slider on that specific sample and just really messing with it, and then adding in a couple of audio spikes and a drum to kind of center things around, and just kind of have that as just background. Again, it's a little more towards harsh noise than the other two ambient tracks, but I still feel like it kind of falls into the same or similar genre of just making like vibe music that I was trying to get into at the time. Again, this was like 2002, 2003 that I was making all these, so I was knocking them out left and right. So there's that. But that was Robot Factory. That was the first one, because the other two tracks, Alien Lullaby and Space Station 105, those were 2003 tracks. This one was a 2002 track, so I was still very much still learning the ropes of the software. And now, while talking about MTV Music Generator software, let's jump ahead a few years to 2010, because, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another Chris Chan track for you. So, I know as soon as I say the name of this song, people are just going to be like, what the fuck is this? The name of this song is Tickle Yo Pussy. And most of you have just checked out. But basically, from 2010, this was Flux Umbreon says that sounds like a Pink Guy song, and I should point out it's spelled Pussay. It's pussy. So it does sound like a Pink Guy song, though. So these were audio samples taken from another troll video that Chris made, where trolls convinced him to talk about how he was going to go down on one of his sweethearts. And he made a video talking about all of the ways that he was going to pleasure them orally. And I decided to make... I found some samples that sounded a little bit like... or some instruments that sounded a little bit like nasty 70s fucking porn music. So I just ran with it. This is not the Jule video. This is a completely different video that was after the fact. This was Jackie. Yes, this was the Jackie saga. So this is from Jackie. So and yes, Buster Keaton Rule says, fun fact, Chris is almost certainly the most documented human being in history, no joke. One of these days, she'll get a Guinness World Record for that, but maybe when she gets out of jail. But, so this is Tickle Yo Pussy.
I love you, Jackie. I'm going to show you some ways on how I can pleasure you. Yeah, I got a few ideas. Okay. Give you some finger play. Okay? Lots of fingers. Can you imagine that? I got other ideas as well. I can roll my tongue. I put it in there and extend it while it's in there. Tickle your pussy. Tickle your pussy. Ah, you lick your pretty little click there. Orally. I love you, Jackie. Okay? Yeah, I could be like, give you some finger play. I put it in there and extend it while it's in there. Tickle your pussy. Tickle your pussy. Orally. Okay? Can you imagine that? I put it in there. Oh, and here's the fun part. Ah, you lick your pretty little click there. Yeah, I got a few ideas. Okay? Yeah, I could be like lots of fingers. Tickle your pussy. Tickle your pussy. Orally. Okay? I can roll my tongue and extend it while it's in there. Okay? Give you some finger play. Lots of fingers. Yeah, I got a few ideas, Jackie.
Probably the worst song I think I've ever made. I think that's the worst. I think that's the worst. So Buster Keaton Rules is asking, is this from the sex demo tape where he shows off his entirely self-taught sex foo skills by spinning an inflatable girl around on his wiener like a propeller? No, this is from a video that's much earlier than that, where he's talking to a troll gal pal named Jackie, who wants to know all the things that Chris is going to do to her whenever they meet, talking about like cunnilingus. So he makes a video where he like pantomimes like doing stuff like that while he's talking, and he's like, "Oh, I lick your pretty little clit there," and I give you some finger play, lots of fingers or whatever, and he's very, very visibly awkward in the video, and it's for JR's eyes only is the name of the video. Yes, Flux, that's the one. So he's also wearing the shirt that says "Mount and Do Me" instead of Mountain Dew. It's like but it's in the Mountain Dew font. It says "Mount and Do Me," and so I don't know why he'd be wearing that shirt. My favorite juxtaposition of Chris Chan is when he has his face painted orange like Clyde Cash, and there's a video still of him where he's going like this, like making this like gesture toward the camera, and he looks like his face is like in almost blackface, and on his t-shirt it says, "I got what I deserved," and I'm like, that's fucking prophetic. But Attractivision says, "Reshiram, save me." I should have remixed one of that guy's songs, but he's too weird. He's too weird. I don't like him. So we got 2 songs left, and one of them is just an outro. So this is the last proper song on the album. This one is Call of Duty, recorded live on Gatorbox in 2013. This is the newest track on Echoes. It's the most recent one, and this is a bit of an improvisational guitar and vocal session that me and Rockiewicz did while we were playing the Holiday Express. So if you this song was released as a single on the Gatorbox channel in 2013 when we did the stream, and then I reissued it through Cola Incorporated just to have it on that channel as well, where some people listen to it. But this song is completely made up on the spot, where it's sung about delivering presents by way of train, and it's not very efficient. And then the song pivots to the viewpoint of an entitled spoiled brat whose only knowledge of video games is Call of Duty, and Halo and Minecraft as well. And he has no respect or regard for video games as an art form or as anything else. He just wants the latest Call of Duty. The worst possible piece of shit brat that you can imagine is basically the viewpoint of this song. So when we recorded this song is coming up on 10 years old, and one of the things I really want to do is I want to get in touch with Rocky and maybe see if I can spend a weekend up in San Antonio, and he and I can re-record this song like properly with his studio equipment and make like a 10-year anniversary version of the single. And I would like to be able to do something like that, and also maybe write a couple extra verses for the song, because this is all made up, all of it. Both the guitar and my vocals are completely made up on the spot. Apologies in advance. I do say the word faggot in this song. This was back when I believed that, as somebody on the LGBT spectrum, that I could use that word and take it back, but I understand now that's probably not something I should be striving to do. So if we were to re-record the song, that word would be dropped from the lyrics and replaced with something else, like asshole or something. So there's that. Flux Embryon, the kind of kid who holds a most slurs said in an Xbox lobby award. Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. Here's Call of Duty.
Yeah, we're gonna put some presents, putting presents under the tree. Oh, here we go, we're on a train. It's not the most efficient way to deliver presents, Oh, it's Christmas time. Gotta give some presents to some asshole kids. Some entitled fucks that want an Xbox One, Call of Duty. Gotta play Call of Duty, gonna get it. Santa Claus, please give me Call of Duty. I wanna shoot some terrorists. The game is for mature audiences, but I'm only 3. My Xbox gamer tag ends in 420. Call of Duty. Gonna get that double XP. Gonna eat my Doritos and drinking my Mountain Dew. Gonna get that double XP. Logging on to MountainDew.com, putting in my codes. Gonna get that XP. Gonna rank it up. Gonna get all the gun skins. Oh my god, I only play Call of Duty. Fuck Battlefield. I also play Halo and Minecraft. Everything else is shit. What the fuck is a Sega Genesis? Sonic is for assholes. Oh my god, I gotta get the Pokemon. No wait, I forgot I'm not a faggot. Call of Duty all the way. Call of Duty all the way. Call of Duty all the way. I completely fucked that up. I wasn't even paying attention to this game.
So yeah, I kind of got into that song at the end there, and I was like, "Were you even playing the game?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I don't know," because I was driving a train the entire time we were singing that song or whatever. So that was one of the things we did. Also, Attractivision said that's such a sad song. It's sad when you think about that. There's people like that out there, but it also the way the way it was composed. It was in a minor key, so it's not very upbeat. It's up there as like the Golden Fantasy Dragon in terms of like sad song, sad dad time. So there's well, it's placed at the end of the album because there is an outro though. There is an outro. This song is called Smash Time. And it's a flub take on FUCK Radio's. One of the things that we used to do is, I guess I should point this out. FUCK Radio was when we recorded on the tapes, but my friend Adam and I also used to like perform out at like recess, and we would tell jokes and sing songs and just like talk about things at like the picnic tables outside, and people would like listen to us and they would laugh and shit like that. And, of course, teachers would stop that when they found out that we were doing it because, of course, we would be shit-talking people and making fun of stuff. We were mostly talking about, like, video games and Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that. But one of the things we would do was we would also, like, sing song parodies. And we had a song about smashing up shitty broken toys that was called Smash Time. And it kind of became our song. It became the song that everyone wanted to hear us sing because it was goofy. And unfortunately, this is a flub take of that song, and it's been so long that I don't remember how it goes. Otherwise, I would perform it for real for you tonight, but I don't remember how it goes. I'd have to do a lot of soul searching to try to figure out how it went. But hearing this reminds me of the song. I just don't remember the words because we drifted apart and this was like a flash in the pan kind of thing. This was just a very important part of my childhood that lasted for a split second, and that was it. It was like a 1-year thing, and that was all we did. So in the grand scheme of things, it's a very narrow segment of time, so it's hard for me to like remember back then to what it was. But anyways, this take is about 15 seconds long, and it's the outro to the album, so this is Smash Time.
Let's sing smashing song. Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for Smash time. Hope we smash a long time. Cause when we smash, there's pieces all around. We find. What comes next? I forgot the thing.
So yeah, there's that. It's also tape damage there. I guess I should have pointed that out ahead of time. But the tape was there's something happened to the tape. It got warped or it got heated or something, and it fucked with the pitch. And I tried fixing that with Audacity and other stuff like that, but anything I did to it made it sound really unnatural. Like slowing it down by slowing it down by like 15% to try and get it to its original speed. It would distort the voices and make them sound like really even weirder than that. So I decided not to fuck with it. You need to hear these at next year's Super Bowl halftime show. FUCK Radio, the reunion. You know, I've thought about. I have the original tape masters, and I have the original albums that we recorded. We recorded one in 95, 97, and 99. We did that. We had Andre and Adam's Stupid Stuff in 95, Adventures and Shit in 1997, and then FUCK Radio in 1999. And I've thought about compiling them and releasing them as like a 25th anniversary thing for like just for me and my friend, and sending him a copy. And I've thought about it. I've also thought about getting in touch with them, but see, that's the thing, is that we're all like grown-ups now, so we can't like remember all these random things from like our childhoods like we used to. And so I hold on to stuff like this because this is part of what makes me me. This is the end of the Echoes album, by the way. This is part of what makes me me. Everything on this album is a part of me, for better or worse. So yeah, there's just 18 songs on there that we listen to, and they're all pieces of me that I've put together. That from me experimenting with music, to me doing spoken word stuff, to me singing, to me ad-libbing, stuff like that, to me rapping. There's just all number of things on this album, and it's just a neat collection of things. This has been something I've been wanting to put together for several years now, and I just had never gotten around to it because collecting all of the original masters and digging through my archives and ripping things and making them audio from video and I have a lot of old files to go through, and it just took a long time for me to be like, okay, let's go do some more, data mining through my old archives and old hard drives and storage drives and CDs and everything else that I've got. And eventually, this is what I was able to put together from all that. So, whether or not you hear him at the next Super Bowl halftime show, that's for Pepsi to decide. Go see Draco from Gatorbox at the Super Bowl halftime show presented by Pepsi. Scan the QR code and get the app, and listen to all these hit songs after the Super Bowl anytime on the app. But that's Echoes. That's been my pet project for the past couple years, going through all of my old memories and old things that I've worked on, and finding a lot of these things that went into this album, especially a lot of the weird shorter things because like the Chris Chan remixes, I knew where those were. Right, I knew where those were, but like the weird George Bush freedom rap thing where it's like freedom, internets, like finding that was hard. So there was a lot of work that went into putting this together, even if not just for the fact that there was a lot of work that's gone into this over the years, making the actual content from 1995 to 2013. A lot of work has gone into that. So this is the first time that a lot of these things have ever been properly released. Some of them were on previous albums and things that were released online, or were like mail order only, from like old websites and things of the sort. So this is the first time that a lot of them have been made available again. So I hope you enjoyed listening to it. If you want to listen to it at any time on demand, you can go to the Cola Incorporated channel on YouTube, and there's an upload of this album there with timestamps for all the different tracks. And you can also go to the Gatorbox Secret Stash, and you can also download the album there. Gator.co/secret stash, all one word for branding purposes. Gator.co/secret stash, and it's underneath the music category there. There's also some other stuff in the secret stash that might be of interest to you. I don't know. Not a lot of people know that we have that, but I've put it there as well. So there's that. Maybe add short explanations in between each song. That would add some more context for the music, making it more accessible for new fans. I guess I could do something like that, recording like some spoken word stuff before each track. I could see if I could maybe put like a 1-minute track before each one. It's not going to affect I can't go back and redo the YouTube upload, but maybe I can adjust the album that's available for download there. Make a commentated one and a non-commentated one, and just let you pick which one you want, commentated or non-commentated. It's not a bad idea, but that was Echoes. That was the embodiment of all of my musical endeavors throughout my entire life, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed putting it together, and now I have something out there with my goofy ass face on it, and it's out there now. It's out there for people to listen to. It's not on Spotify for, probably for copyright reasons, and also I don't know how to get things onto Spotify, so who knows. But anyways, OG song, Deluxe Edition, now with commentary. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So let me go ahead and remove that.